Sky Cohen's creates documentary-style videos about spirituality, wellness, and alternative lifestyle on her YouTube channel, Sky Life. And in this interview, we talk about her journey from working behind the scenes for other YouTube creators and media companies such as BuzzFeed into coming into her own as a YouTube creator with her own channel. We also discuss the struggle with trying to do it all, with trying to create content and grow a channel, build a business, and sometimes the need for outsourcing is necessary and how difficult it can be to find the right people to fill that void. Well, hello, my name is Erika Vieira. I'm a YouTube strategist and coach, having helped more than 600 women behind the scenes through my Zero to Influence YouTube Bootcamp, my one-on-one YouTube coaching, and my strategic channel management. And if you're new here, welcome. On this channel, I interview well-known female content creators where together we pull back the curtain to reveal what it's really like to be successful on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe because I come out with new videos every single week. Enjoy this interview. Mwah. Well, hello, Sky. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm really excited to dive in and talk all about your YouTube channel. Let's start with you sharing with our viewers and listeners when you got onto YouTube and what inspired you to get onto the platform.
Yeah, sure. So I started my channel, Sky Life, in March of 2018. And I actually had been working at BuzzFeed prior to that, making YouTube videos. And up until that point, I actually had no idea that you could have a career on YouTube. So I thought I needed to go get a job, which is why I started working at BuzzFeed when I graduated from college after studying broadcast journalism. And then they were just having us make YouTube videos, and I saw how they were making money from it. And I said, whoa, this is a real career. Like, I didn't really involve myself in YouTube up until then on the business side. So that sort of woke me up to the possibilities for myself. And then I ended up sort of developing my own channel on the side for a little while as I was working for a fitness brand as their content producer. And I also did work for another YouTuber named Joey Graceffa for 2 years. And that's when I started my channel as a side hustle. And I did it for about 2 years as a side hustle before I did it full time.
So you kind of been in the YouTube space industry before even having your own channel.
Yes.
How do you think that has helped you with your channel today?
It massively helped me. Even in high school, I was making videos and have always been into shooting and editing. I've been editing since I was in high school. So that's actually a skill of mine. And up until recently, I was editing all my own videos. So in college, when I was studying broadcast journalism, what we learned, at least where I went to school, the program was very hands-on, and we were learning how do you shoot and edit a news package for television. So it's all sort of the same skills that I use now as a YouTuber. But again, I didn't understand really the YouTube game until I was working at BuzzFeed at a media company and then worked for Joey and learned a lot through that. So all of these skills over the past more than 10 years now definitely have helped me develop my own channel and have contributed to the success that I've had so far.
Yeah, so you said you started your channel in 2018?
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a side hustle. So at what point made you decide to go at it full time?
Well, what happened was, I don't know how I was doing this because I was working a full-time job with this fitness brand, and then I was working for Joey on the side just to keep my foot in the YouTube game. And I would work with him one day a week, but then also help him with producing and ideas. And I was working on my channel every night and every weekend for so long. I was obsessed with it. Like, I just wanted to make these videos. So I was driven by the passion for it, but eventually it wore me out so much. And I was so burnt out. And I felt that it was not possible for me to continue unless I went all in and did this full time, because it was a full-time job. And if I wanted to go to the next level, I needed to treat it that way. And so I sort of jumped in before I felt like I was making enough to like sustain me, but I knew if I jumped in and did it before I was ready, I would figure it out and find a way to make it sustainable. And that's sort of what happened.
It's like that thought that if you fall, the net will appear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So where were you at with your channel when you made this decision?
Wow. I have to think back of when it really was. 'Cause it was about 2 years after I kind of it was sort of gradual. It wasn't like I quit everything all at once, but I left my job doing the full-time thing and then worked for Joey on the side. So it was gradual.
Oh yeah.
Just to support me with some income until then I leapt full in. And I think at that point my channel had less than 100,000 subscribers, but I probably had about like 70,000 subscribers or something around that range. And I was getting brand deals. They were small and not so frequent, but I was making money on the channel. So I felt that, okay, if I do this full time, I know that I can actually get more brand deals. I can actually make the content better. Because sometimes I was feeling that I didn't have the energy and the time doing also full-time work to make the channel the best it could be. So yeah, it was probably around that time that I just decided if I really want to do this, I have to go all in.
Yeah. And how do you feel that maybe you're at an advantage by having so much training, like getting really specific with YouTube and the content itself? Like what did you specifically apply to your content that you feel like maybe you had an advantage from?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 10,000 hour rule is real. So I've been putting in hours for a number of years now, which I think is what allowed me to work full time and then do it on the side. So, and still stay consistent, because I was posting every single week at that time, no matter what. And it's because I had developed the really fast editing skills. Like my brain knew how to put content together quickly, so I could do it fast. But I don't necessarily think like I didn't go in saying I want to blow this channel up as fast as possible. I want to get the most views as possible. That wasn't my mindset, and it still isn't my mindset. I want the channel to be successful, but I'm more driven by the type of content I'm making, being aligned with the mission and the why for the content that I'm making. And so I think there's a lot of things that I know that probably I could be doing if I just wanted crazy YouTube numbers. I probably could be achieving that, but that's not really why I'm in it. And so my channel is, I have like 225,000 subscribers right now. That's sort of like still a small channel. That's still medium-sized channel. It's not in the millions of subscribers range. And it's because my channel is very niche. It's very focused on specific topics in wellness, spirituality, alternative lifestyle. And that's because I wanted to make videos about these topics. I didn't have any interest in making just the viral trend. Like the way that I was trained at BuzzFeed is not how I operate my channel, because it's not what excites me. It's not what I'm passionate about. And I see the business that I'm doing with YouTube way more long-term than just quickly blowing up. But I do have an advantage with the years and the hours of work that I put in to develop these skills. And for a long time, I was very attached to editing my own videos, and I really had to get over that because I realized there's no way I could possibly scale this and continue if I was editing all the content. So now I've been training editors and hiring more editors and very closely working with them. But that's been like the biggest game changer for me.
As far as productivity and everything and getting your channel done, or the work for your channel done.
Yes. I mean, and just for my mental health, and also in terms of my focus, being able to go to the areas in which I know are important for growing the channel and for business success. My days are spent behind a screen editing. I'm not thinking at a higher level about the business long term. So that's where most of my energy is going now, but it's still very in the content creation side as well. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's that adage that they say it's like you're working in your business and not on your business, because when you're in the weeds, you're doing everything. You don't have time to actually have that vision because you're getting everything done. So it sounds like that's what you're doing with the editing. I know one of the big struggles that a lot of creators have, and it sounds like for you, because you're such trained in editing, and I have seen your videos, and they're really, really like mini movies, like the editing is just very well done, and I could tell that you had a really good eye for it. That was one of my questions, is like, are you your own editor? So yes, up until recently. So how was it though, being able to find somebody of your skill set? Because it's one thing to like having, okay, learn editing to do YouTube and then finally pass that off to someone who's probably better than you, but you're obviously trained in this, so you're very good at this. Like, how were you able to find someone of that caliber and let go of that process? Because I know that's something a lot of creators struggle with.
Oh, it took me a while, actually. I was trying to find someone. I was testing people for months, and then it got to the point where it was either like I have to prioritize this, and even if I need to take a month just to focus on this, that is necessary for me to move forward.
Yeah.
So it was a pause and taking a step back in order to propel myself forward and accelerate. And what I did was I actually asked advice from a YouTube channel that I've worked with that I really respect, and they found one of their editors this method. And I said, because they saw me, they're like, you still haven't hired an editor? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I can't find someone. Like, how can I not find someone? Because there's lots of editors out there, but you're right, it is very challenging to find an editor with really high skill level, because my videos are like mini documentaries. Yeah, they are. And that's sort of what I want to make. Thank you. And that's what I pride myself on, is making content that maybe you aren't typically seeing on YouTube, documentary making is my passion. And so anyways, I was looking for someone with that skill set, and I just basically mimicked what they had done, which was post a video on their channel saying, we're hiring an editor. I posted a video and said, I am looking for this magical dream video editor to work with that is aligned with the channel. And I got a bunch of applications and had people submit a video. And then I did interviews, and then I had them do a test edit. And the person that I ended up hiring, they had everything. I was looking at everything from like how they structure their email to the organization of their project. And that's so important to me, organization, being on top of things, being and so I really looked at all areas, and I ended up hiring this person from the UK named Jack. And he is so good and he's so talented. And now I'm in the position of, well, I can't just rely on one person, because what if he's sick or he goes on vacation? Now I'm looking at hiring more, and how do I replicate this process? But that's what I did to really get. And over the last 6 months of working with him, it has just dramatically changed my life. So it was the best decision. Yeah.
So what are you now able to focus on that you weren't when you were doing all your own editing?
Now it's definitely development, pre-production. How do I actually set up a video for success? Rather than before, I would kind of ideas have never been hard for me, because I live and breathe this world of wellness, spirituality, alternative human beings. I live in a place called the Portal with all these really amazing hippies and witches and wizards, and we have people come to our house that people ask me, how do you find these people in your videos? Because I focus on characters. People ask me, how do you find these people? And I'm like, I don't.
You're like, they come to me.
They show up. Yeah, they just show up at my house at this point. So ideas have never been that challenging, but what my craft now is to take some ethereal idea. Like, I just did a video with this girl who's big on YouTube as well, activation vibration, and she channels light language and light codes, and she has communication with extraterrestrials, she says, and alien beings, and has many experiences with UFOs and aliens, and she channels this alien language and knows about all these different like galaxies, and it's so out there and abstract and very hard for like a normal person to understand. So then my job is, how do I take that concept? I want to do a video with her because she's super cool.
I was like, that sounds fascinating.
Oh yeah, it is fascinating, and it's what makes life to me so much more interesting and exciting. And my skeptical mind wants to understand it, and then my childlike mind wants to believe in it and be open. And so, anyways, my job then is, how do I take these concepts and then make them something that's packageable in terms of title and thumbnail and storytelling to actually communicate to the audience in a way that's easy to understand and entertaining. And so that's sort of where a lot of my energy goes now. And then that's from pre-production through all the way through the post-production. I'm still very, very closely working on the editing side. Sometimes I get in the edit, but I try not to do that as much anymore. And then also on the business level, like, yes, there's the brand partnership side that a lot of content creators make revenue from. And I work very closely with my management on those brand partnerships and making sure they're in alignment. But it's also thinking long term, like, what products do I want to launch that will be of value to my community, and how do I want to grow this community and engage them over time? And that's something I've been thinking about recently a lot in researching into decentralized platforms and cryptocurrency and how to integrate all of this, just like thinking ahead. And that takes time and research. So it's, taking lots of those calls and meetings and like doing my own research and just really like strategizing from a higher level. And yeah, research on the videos themselves. I need to really understand these topics when I go into shooting these videos. So it's a combination of lots of different things. And then, of course, shooting the best content I can. When I shoot videos, I spend the whole day doing them. So, and I shoot at least once a week, sometimes more than that.
So how many videos are you uploading a week or a month?
Well, my ideal quota is one video a week.
Okay.
Now, for 2 years, I stuck to that no matter what. And what happened was some of them were really good videos and some were terrible because I just needed to fill a week, and then I would rush to make it, and it wasn't actually that good, and it would end up hurting the channel instead. But I also give myself some focus on the quality of the content, because on YouTube, I think there was a time where it was about quantity, and posting every day was a good strategy. Now, I don't think that works anymore on YouTube in terms of not YouTube Shorts, but like the long form YouTube content. So I try and keep a consistent weekly schedule, but I sometimes will take a week off, or, I've taken over the past year, I took like 2 vacations, January and then in June, where I took a whole month and just like regrouped. So I found that it's really important for me to just get clarity on the best way to move forward. And I often in those times get so much insight and clarity on the channel, and it's just good. It's just good for my mental health, so I don't get burnt out.
Yeah, definitely. How much time does it take you to put together one of your videos, especially the planning and production? Because it almost seems like for some of them, like you're traveling, you're going places. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm going to sit in front of a camera and talk about, my favorite things I've been using this month. Like it seems like there needs to be a lot of planning to it.
Yeah, there is a lot of planning. And the ideal is that I eventually have a team with production coordinator and a producer and a couple editors and like a full production team that operates like a media company. And now, while I'm just building to that phase, like it's just, I do hire some people here and there, like, okay, can you help me research this? I have research assistants. I hire producers. Can you help me plan this video? And I sort of do that on a contractor basis. Again, delegation is right now at least, that's my skill that I am in the process of honing in on and working on, is how can I delegate really effectively in that communication process. So there is a lot of planning. Some of the videos you asked, how long did it take to produce one video from start to finish? And it kind of depends on the video. Some of them are very quick like I just posted a video that was sort of a day in the life of where I live at this commune where I live with 5 other people, called The Portal. And we had another person recently move in. They have their van parked outside. But it was when I posted the video, it was showing like my roommates and what our day looks like here, and like introducing them as characters. And we shot that in one day, and then it was edited in like 3 to 4 days with notes. And then it was posted, and then had a brand partnership too, so we get into the brand ahead of time and stuff. And so I'd say, like, on average, it takes about 1 day of filming, probably like a day or 2 of like pre-production, and then depending on the traveling situation, and then usually I like to have a rough cut done in 3 days, and then notes for 2 days. So it's probably like a full week, 5 to 7 days in total for each video.
Yeah. And then, so when you're planning out your content, is it because it just seems as if yours take a little bit more time to just, map out, like you said, some research and all that? Are you months ahead? Are you thinking like, okay, I know what I'm going to have in January or February? Or is it kind of spontaneous based on, where you get inspired?
Yeah, I definitely try and be ahead. And it doesn't always happen that even, it's interesting because I've been trying to hack this. Like, how do YouTube channels get ahead? And even some of my friends who have really big channels, I've witnessed how they produce and operate. And even some of the biggest channels are just like going from week to week,
Yeah.
And then I see some channels that have it really dialed and they're like really working ahead. I'm always working on multiple projects at once. We're always in different phases of the production process for all the different videos at a time. But I would say that I have it planned. I have it on the content calendar. Okay, like here's what's coming out in January, probably a month before. And some of those videos may be in production process, but it is sort of like a rolling system. Like, okay, we're probably working on the video up until it's posted, and then it gets posted, and then we're getting the next one. So the ideas, the pre-production is all happening ahead. The content calendar is happening ahead. The actual finishing and editing the video is usually up until it gets posted. And I would love to be ahead. Sometimes, we get ahead and it feels so good to have like a video locked in and it's ready to go. Like, that's the best feeling ever. But that is a work in progress right now.
Yeah. And so, because you're a filmmaker and you spend a lot of time on the production and the editing and all that, do you put an equal amount of time to thinking of the titles and the thumbnails and all those other elements?
Yes, I definitely, I don't think that it's as much time as the editing, but I put a lot of priority on the title and thumbnail. And I always think about it ahead of time. Actually, there was a time when I really didn't think about it, even though I knew it was important. Because at BuzzFeed, like we learned how important it was, title and thumbnail. And and if you've done YouTube for a while, like you start to understand how important it is. It gets the packaging of the video, and if people don't click, they don't watch, and the click-through rate is the first point of success for the video. So it is really important. And I definitely think about it ahead of time. And if I don't think video will have a strong enough title and thumbnail, then I really am hesitant to make it. I probably won't make it unless it's something I need to make because my heart needs to make it. Because I'm very driven by I am more than anything driven by my passion for storytelling and the experiences and like making the videos that I am for. This needs to get millions of views. Like I make these videos because I just am obsessed with making them. Yeah,
that's cool. You're right. Working at BuzzFeed, they're all about the title. They're all about that clickable title and the thumbnail. So did you work on that at BuzzFeed, or is that something that you were able to pick up when you were there?
We had title and thumbnail workshops and classes, and we would submit 3 different titles and 3 different thumbnails to a team of people who would decide what was the best one. And actually that's what I've started to do now is I use this software that's still sort of in beta testing, but it's a software that's helping creators choose titles and thumbnails. And I will share on Instagram to my audience. I say, hey, help me choose the next title and thumbnail of this week's video. And I'll post different options and then they vote. And then after, I think 100 different responses, I can start to see statistical significant data on what would be the best performing. And I do take that into account. I go with my gut too, but I definitely look at data and not just that, but like I'll look at on YouTube videos in a similar topic. What were the highest performing videos? Yeah.
What are those thumbnails?
So,
what's that software? Can you share?
Yeah, it's called, it's joinimpress.com. And I think they reached out to me because one of my friends was developing it and they asked if I would be a creator to start using it and testing it. And then they're still very much in the development phase. Yeah, but I think now it's open for people to start using.
Yeah. So interesting. So the next part of the interview, we're just going to go through the same questions that I ask everybody that's come on the show. And you just kind of respond with your first answer. So the first question is, what do you love most about being on YouTube?
I love that I get to make what I make. I get to make what I want to make when I want to make it. And that I have, to an extent, creative freedom to just produce what I want to produce. I love it. There's no gatekeepers. It's, YouTube to an extent censors content, but for the most part, I'm so grateful that I have the freedom to create what I want.
What is your number one struggle with YouTube?
Oh, the number one struggle. I think it is not like as much as you can study the algorithm, you're like, what is really going on? Why did this video that I thought was going to perform well tank? I have a killer thumbnail and title for this, but it didn't do well at all. And then this other one that I thought was going to tank, it's my highest performing video. How does that happen? And it confuses you and you want to figure it out, but you really can't know what's going on behind the scenes with that algorithm sometimes.
Yeah, I had somebody else actually just this morning in another interview explain it in a way that she said that it's kind of like you're working really hard with a blindfold on because you just don't know which direction you're going with the algorithm.
Exactly.
What is your highest viewed video on your channel and how much did you make from it?
So my highest viewed video right now is why I still do the Wim Hof method. And it is a follow-up to some other videos I made about training with Wim Hof in Poland. And I produced a documentary for a channel called Yes Theory, where we trained with Wim Hof, the Iceman, in Poland for a week. And I made some videos about it. And then actually the follow-up video, like why a year later, actually now 3 years later, still do an ice bath in the morning and did one today. Why do I still do that? How did it have such an
impact on your
crazy
life?
Impact? That it really did. It really did. And so in that video, I talk about why I still do it and talk about some of the science and breath work and the cold therapy. And it has 1.4 million views now. And I made it's been posted for like a couple years. It's made $2,500 in total.
$2,500? How many views does it have?
4 million.
Why is the AdSense so low on that?
So low?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my AdSense is pretty low, to be honest, because topics of alternative wellness do not do well in terms of ad revenue. Again, like I was saying, YouTube definitely has their own advertisers.
Yeah.
And it's not a platform that likes I did videos about CBD. I've done videos about holistic healing modalities, and they'll get flagged. They get demonetized or limited advertising.
Yeah.
So that's something that my channel definitely deals with. I don't really make that much in ad revenue.
Yeah. Where do you make most of your money from on your channel?
So there's a couple of different things that I promote, that I get commission from, things like, very small, select few
Items.
products that I really believe in, that I get commission from, and then brand partnerships as well. So, and I really do have to really believe in the product or the brand to align and do a brand partnership. I say no to like 95% of things.
Yeah.
But it is through brand partnerships and other commission that I probably make the most revenue right now.
Yeah. What, if you were to start over right now, what would you do differently?
Oh, wow. That's such a good question. I would do a lot differently. I would, from the start, focus more on title and thumbnail. I would, in the beginning, like I said, I was producing every week, no matter what. Like, I would only do it if the video was worthy of being posted. You know, and I would focus on the pre-production. I would focus on setting the video up for success from the content development phase and the ideation phase way more than I used to. And yeah, I think I waited too long to like really optimize the title and thumbnail and that content development process.
Got it. What is your favorite video you created that's on your channel?
Oh, that's such a good question. There's been so many videos that I love, that some of them just maybe haven't performed that well, but I personally love them. I mean, there's one that was high performing. It was a little documentary about hippie culture, and I went to this festival called Bhakti Fest. It was this yoga festival. It's like hippie Disneyland, you know, with all of these different spiritual people and yoga and meditation and breath work and all the things, and kirtan, singing mantras. And I just wanted to, you know, I wanted to understand, like, wow, what is this subculture and this word that's been used throughout decades and emerged in the 60s and has like lasted these decades. And my question that I wanted to answer in that video are hippies crazy or genius? And it's definitely high performing on the channel, and it was like so fun to make. And it was just me and my vlog camera, and I edited it in like 3 days after the festival and posted it. And I would definitely edited long hours on that one, but I just went and I was asking people questions behind the camera and just on my vlog camera. So simple, so fun to make. That was one of my favorite videos. And yeah, I recently did one in Mexico that performed terrible. But for me, the process of making it was such a great like initiation. You know, I was making a video, it was about this satanic king, this satanic cult leader in Mexico's witchcraft capital, Catemaco. So I'm going to a place that's not touristy at all. You know, I'm going with a YouTuber friend who does some of the most taboo, like crazy videos on his channel all over the world. And he invited me into this situation that is just like kind of a once in a lifetime experience, even though it would scare a lot of people, or most people would not be interested in going. I was scared, but I wanted to go experience something that scared me and just be open and curious about it. And it really empowered me. Like, it just taught me that, okay, when I'm going into any situation, I'm the only person that can determine my energy. It really just broke down these like stereotypical barriers we have about people and why they believe something. And I really just believe that whenever we can be open and ask questions, we'll learn so much. We don't have to resonate or agree with everything, but we will learn when we're open rather than judgmental. And that video, the production process was crazy. Like, there's so much in the video you didn't even see. Of just the travel journey to get there was nuts. And then even the travel journey to get home was nuts. And it was just a really good initiation. Like, I like when things challenge me, and that video challenged me. And then it's sort of like it's like a documentary, you know, about this really fascinating, like very unique human in this very unique place. did terrible, but I loved it. I loved the whole process.
Yeah, I want to see that video. I do enjoy your videos. I'm the same. I'm a very curious person. I love like all these alternative things, and it's just so fascinating. Like the Wim Hof, I couldn't get into it, but my husband does it. He'll do the ice baths, and I'm like, you know, I don't think he's crazy, but I'm like, I can't physically. To me, it was just like I've done it, and it's like, but it's, you know, I get it. Trust me, I've done the research, and I know it's good. So, but I love it. I mean, your videos are really cool to watch. So you do a really good job with them. What are the big mistakes you see aspiring YouTube creators making?
Oh, wow. Okay. This one I'm going to talk about because there's many things I could say about strategy, which there's people making strategy mistakes, but you end up learning over time, right? But the biggest thing that I see is that I think that there are a lot of creators who are making content not knowing why they're creating it, and they're making content just to try and blow up on YouTube or blow up on TikTok or get a following or whatever it is, and they're just following the latest trend that's getting views, or they're making content just to get views and not actually going inwards and unlocking and getting clarity on why do I want to create? Who am I as a creator? What do I stand for? What is my mission? What is my why? And I think that that is so important to start at the beginning of your content creation journey, or whenever you wake up to that. Like, really think about that deeply. And this for me was really important, because that mission, that why for creating, has gotten me through all the times I wanted to quit and was really didn't want to edit a video, or it's really empowered me and motivated me to continue, and is underneath everything that I do. And it makes the process so much more fun and enjoyable. And then also what it creates is more quality content on the internet. Like, we have enough bullshit content that's just mushing people's brains. Like, we could use content that's heart-centered, that's really coming from within the soul of the creator. And anything coming from your soul is going to speak to people. And so I just encourage any aspiring creator to really let yourself create from that heart space, from that deep, like, soul desire, because that's what will be authentic. That's what will connect the most with people. And that's also what kind of content we need on the internet.
I love that. I mean, I feel 100% with you on that. I mean, I have a YouTube course where I do coaching and I do all that stuff, and the first lessons in the program, the first one is finding your why, and then I go into other like your niche, your audience, and then it's your mission statement. And then I tell people, I don't care if you have like 300,000 subscribers or 800,000, you have to go through that process. And I get so many people telling me what happens is that they'll join my coaching and join my program, and they've been on YouTube for a while. Like, they look like they're successful, but they're like, but I'm so stuck, or I'm so uninspired, or I've evolved and my channel hasn't, but I don't know how to get out of that, right? And so more often than not, like, yes, we teach strategy, like thumbnails and titles and all those things that everybody thinks like, oh, that's what I need to know to grow, right? But it's those meaty lessons where I literally have like a 300-page workbook, like, where it's like, and everyone's like, people will say like, I'm like crying right now because, and I love how you say that, because YouTube content, and this is like for everybody, it's like, if it aligns with you and your mission and your why, that's what people want. Like, those are the communities that you're building, and you're building a sense of belonging for a group of people that might feel otherwise they don't have that, or they disenfranchised, or whatever it is. And it's that mission. And what I say is that actually YouTubers, they're actually community builders, and the mission is the glue that holds that community together. So I love what you're saying there.
Totally.
Yeah. And it's evident in your channels.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. The community element that you touch on is so important. And I haven't really talked about this, but that's another reason why I love YouTube. Is it's, out of all the platforms, I feel like it's the place where I feel most connected with the community. And we so vibe, and me and my audience like get each other, where it's like we would be friends in real life. Like, we are friends, and then I meet them in person and I'm like, oh my God, you're so cool. And they're so open and so passionate about all the same things, and it's so beautiful. And I think that's another reason why I have continued to do YouTube. It's motivated me. The community just motivates me just as much as like the passion for making the videos. Because if I wasn't sharing it with anyone, we wouldn't be fun at all. Like, it's half of it is sharing it with people who really also are into the same things. And that's another part of my mission moving forward, is how to engage the community in other places off YouTube, to have more engagement with them, to have more in real life experiences. And that's something I really am focused on now, and would love to see come to life next year. Like, how do I really cultivate this community off of just YouTube and just the comment section? So it's so important. I love them so much. Like, I learned so much from my community. It's awesome.
I love that. And last question, what is your superpower that you think has led to your success?
I love this question. So I believe that my superpower is inspiring the shift from judgment to curiosity. You'll see in my videos, curiosity is a very strong pillar. It's a strong value and pillar in my life. And I try and approach every video with openness and curiosity. And I believe that creates more understanding and unity, and it helps us shift from division and judgment. So that's my superpower, is inspiring curiosity.
I love that. I think that's why I love your channel so much, because I'm such a curious person, and I love so many different things. And I think we'll be a better world if people approach things out of a sense of curiosity. And like you said, not of judgment. I've actually never heard anyone say it like that. So Sky, I absolutely love that. So for anybody listening or watching that is not familiar with you and your channel, wants to check you out, where can they find you?
Yes. So on YouTube, my channel is Sky Life, and I'm on TikTok and Instagram at Sky Cowens, and you can hit me up there. I'm not the best at responding to DMs because I can't be on Instagram for too long. But email, I'm good at email, so you can find my email if you really want, but that's where I send you. Check it out.
Awesome.
It's Sky Life on YouTube.
Well, thank you, Sky, so much. This was awesome. Bye.
Thank you so much, Erika. Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that interview and you learned a lot from it. Now, if you have a YouTube channel or considering starting a YouTube channel that you're serious about growing, and you want the best of the best when it comes to personalized feedback, advice, and up-to-the-minute YouTube strategy, then consider my Zero to Influence YouTube Bootcamp for Women. I have been running this bootcamp since 2018, and we have hundreds upon hundreds of very successful students that have gone through the program. And I can go on and on about the YouTube Bootcamp, but I want you to hear it directly from some of the women themselves.
I feel so lucky that I got to do Erika's bootcamp.
Before I joined the bootcamp,
Before joining Erika's bootcamp,
my channel was all over the place. I didn't know what I was talking about. I would hear people say that I need to find my why and my voice and my audience and understand my target audience, but I never felt like I really understood what that meant.
Erika helped me come up with YouTube video ideas. She helps me with consistency. She helps me to interpret my analytics.
I started with 12,000 subscribers and now I have over 50,000 and it is growing rapidly.
My channel has grown almost 100,000 subscribers.
I definitely wouldn't have gotten to this place in such a short amount of time without Erika's bootcamp.
What makes Erika special is that she has been talking to and analyzing YouTube channels for years, and that has given her this bank of knowledge to pull from.
I'm constantly asking her questions about YouTube. I'm asking her advice about my YouTube channel.
Taking the Zero to Influence YouTube Bootcamp was one of the best
decision I could have ever made for myself, for my channel, for my own personal growth as a human being. I could not be happier.
I love that it has reinvigorated me in such a beautiful way. So I am so happy that I've joined.
You're crazy not to hire her. Get on it. All right.